you sent me that email about the gentleman you've been helping with anxiety.
Mhm.
Uh, can
Yeah.
you tell me a little bit more about that, just so we don't
Oh,
forget?
such a funny case. He's mid 60s, he's retired, he's had anxiety his entire life. It runs in the family. His father had anxiety, his grandfather had anxiety. So the family literally owns the diagnosis. And he remembers the first time it triggered him. He was 11 years old. They're from Jamaica. He was being sent off to boarding school and he was anxious, afraid. And that's when it first peaked. And he went outside to get in the taxi and he was petrified. He couldn't get in the taxi. He hid behind a bush so he didn't have to go. Well, when dad got home, he drove him off to school and he was gone to boarding school for essentially the rest of his life from that. So I worked with him on that specific memory. I said, let's go that. So we only had to do 2 rounds, I think. And after the second round, how does it feel? Oh, I could get in the taxi. Amazing. And that was our very first session because you go for the low hanging fruit. And then on our third session, he really should be doing more work, should. I would love to continue working with him because there's some other issues, but well, you're not covered under my benefits plan. No, I mean, okay. And well, that's fine. He says, as we're walking, he says, I was shocked how deep you went in 3 sessions. He's been working with psychologists, psychiatrists. He's been taking course after course after course for his anxiety his entire life. He says, nobody in 3 sessions has gone that deep ever. And
So you have a client that's in his 60s
yes,
who he had anxiety since 11,
yes,
and you were able to help him out with that in 3
yes.
sessions.
And even I said his anxiety around people was so bad. If he'd go shopping, he'd park at the mall like yards away, hundreds of yards from other people because people coming up, they just weren't safe. Oh, and he was shocked that that was gone.
Yeah. So now he can park closer to the shop.
And he's not concerned. Even walking in the park, he looks at people. Oh, they were dangerous. It was just everybody was a threat to him. And now he looks at people. Oh, I wonder what their story is.
So no wonder we see you a more confident coach. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, it's just amazing the work that the gift this has given to me to give to other people, and this work is so needed now and more than ever.
And just out of curiosity, so imagine he came to you with the issues that he has or had, and you didn't have gentle trauma release in your toolbox. What would that be like for you?
Exactly. And this is exactly my thought. I mean, I meant to be here to give people this relief. I can coach them so far, but I could never have done this before. Never. It would just, I wouldn't have had the tools to release it from the body and even the awareness to recognize the trauma and what it was to help people. So this is just so amazing. And the more I talk to people, everybody is traumatized. It's just, I mean, even think of the birth and being born. That's such a traumatic event, and it just goes on and on. So, yeah, this is
And just
amazing.
for illustration purposes, like imagine he really did come to you and with the issues that he had, and what would that be like for you sitting in that session with him? What would you feel? Where would your thoughts go?
Without the GTRA, I wouldn't have coached him because I didn't coach men. But 2, I just wouldn't have had the tools to help. I mean, I could have coached him, and I think Tracy and I have had this conversation. We coach them, you get them so far, and even with myself, I'd go so far. There was a regression until we dealt with the trauma. And I was at a networking event yesterday, and I said that I'd coach people until you address the trauma and get it out of your body. It's just old patterns will come up, and the regression will start again. This is where I'm meant to be, is how I feel about this and how I'm helping people, and the immediate shifts is just, I love it. So yeah, thank you. I'm not surprised there's a shift in confidence.